Yo, what's going on, dudes? Hopefully everyone is okay. So, it's time for a little update on the whole Mod 2 situation. Well, when I say update, there has been a major update. A huge update, in fact. We got a Mod 2 test, and we've already had it. It came round pretty quick, but I managed to get a test literally within like 2 or 3 days of booking it. So, we've sat our Mod 2, and we're still on the 125. But we didn't fail. We passed. We passed our Mod 2, dudes. We did pass our Mod 2. The reason I'm still on the 125 is I don't have the 650 at my property yet. I'm getting that in a few days. So it's going to be so good to get onto the big bike. So we now officially have our full licence. And it feels good, dudes. It feels so good. So I was aiming to get another clean slate, get a perfect pass in my Mod 2, but unfortunately we didn't do it. I got 2 minors, which I'm not too fussed about. You know, it's only 2 minors. It's not like I mucked up the test or anything, but if we'd got that perfect pass I would have been so happy, dudes, but it didn't happen. But never mind, at the end of the day we've got ourselves our bike licence, and that's all that matters. And apart from those 2 minors, the rest of the test was fine. So the 2 minors I got, one was for signalling and one was for speed. Alright, so the one for signalling, I'm absolutely happy with that. I know for a fact I made a mess up. What happened was when we first came out the test centre, the examiner, we went straight into the independent riding section, and that kind of threw me off guard a bit. I just assumed that was going to be like the last part of the test, but I think it's kind of random where they put it within the Mod 2 test, so I got it straight away, and it kind of threw me off guard, and I was like, shit, where am I going, where's the signs? And I made a mistake with my indicator, and he gave me a minor for it, and as I even said to him after the test, I think I know what that's for, and then he said, yeah, it was for that. So that was the first minor. And the second minor, you know, I wasn't going to make an argument about it or anything. He gave me a minor for speeding. Alright, so he said that we were in a 30 and I was pulling away from him, which maybe I was, I don't know. I mean, I've made it so it was absolute second nature that I was constantly checking my speedo to make sure I wasn't going over the speed limit. And he says that he clocked me, he says that he reckons I was doing about 33, 34. I mean, I don't know how he can tell that. He doesn't have a speedo on him or anything like that, so he's just going by how fast he's going, I guess. I mean, I'm a wee bit disappointed about that minor, because I could have swore that I was doing the speed limit constantly. I was constantly checking it, you know. So whether it was just that slight blip in concentration, you know, I just maybe went a wee bit too fast and maybe took away from him a little bit. Because the test centre where I stay, there's no bikes available for the examiner to follow you. It's all done in a car, so he follows you in a car rather than a bike. So there was quite a few times where I kind of lost the examiner, not because I was speeding off, just, you know, him getting caught at roundabouts and whatever. So there was a few times where he was quite far back, so whether it was something to do with that, where he clocked me for the speeding or what, I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't ask him where. I should have really asked him at what point in the test, but to be honest with you, I was just buzzing when he said, congratulations, you've passed, you know, and he gave me my certificate and stuff. So we do have our bike licence now, dudes. I'm just going to go and get some fuel, and then we'll go over what happened on the day. I'll do a brief explanation anyway what happens on the day. I'm probably going to do a separate video on the actual whole Mod 2, what to expect, what happens. I was kind of hoping to get a few Mod 2 videos in on my little 125 just for some practice and stuff, but I wasn't expecting to get a test that early. You know, it was literally within a few days of me booking it, so I didn't really have much time to do anything. It was like, here's a test date, and then all of a sudden it's like, holy dudes, we've got a test. It's like, oh my god, we've actually got a test date. And the examiner was quite nice. He was just a young guy, so he was pretty cool. All fueled up. So the Mod 2, there's a couple of different things you can expect to happen. You're basically going to have the riding part. You basically have to go straight on at all roundabouts, etc., unless the examiner says, you know, take a specific exit or whatever. So you've got the actual riding part of it, which is kind of obvious. You need to have that. You've then got the independent riding, which roughly is about maybe 10 minutes or so, and he'll basically just tell you again, just go straight at every roundabout unless I tell you, but he won't tell you what exit, what lane or anything. I mean, he won't tell you what lane anyway throughout the whole test, but obviously you've got to decide that. That's the whole point in lane discipline, which is another thing you have to take into consideration. But with the independent riding, he'll just tell you to follow the signs for either, you know, town, city, whatever road it is, and you've basically got to, he wants to make sure that you're looking at the signs and you can navigate your way around. If you end up making a mistake, like you're in the wrong lane or something like that, don't try and fix it. You know, if it's fixable, I suppose you could try and fix it as long as you do it in a safe manner. But if it's not fixable, don't risk it. Just carry on in that lane, and it means you go in the wrong direction, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter as long as you do it safely. All the examiner will do is he'll just basically give you another instruction. He'll then ask you to pull over a certain number of times. I'm sure I pulled over 4 times. One of those times is a hill start, so he wants to see you starting on a hill. It wasn't a steep hill. I was pretty much unaware of where the hill start was on the test because it didn't even feel like I was on a hill. You know, like the hill starts we were practicing for in the Mod 2 training were like steep. They were really steep, so it didn't feel like I even did a hill start. So that's the kind of main things you've got. You've got your, obviously, ride-in, the whole test. You've got your independent ride-in, and then you've got all your pulling over at the side of the road and stuff like that. And then, of course, the whole safety thing. You know, you got to make sure that you're constantly doing your mirrors, your observations, make sure all your signalling's correct, and that you're keeping a safe distance, you know, from the car in front or whatever. So for the actual route that we went on, it was a nice, easy ride. There was nothing hard or technical about it. There are quite a few areas where I stay where some of the junctions can be really dodgy. You know, they're kind of like blind spots and hill-started blind spots and stuff, and they can be really, really tricky if you have to stop at them. It's okay if you can keep going. You know, if it's a giveaway, you can keep going as long as it's clear, that's fine. But if you have to stop at some of them, it can be kind of dodgy. But I didn't even go anywhere near any of them, so it was nice. And it felt like 10 minutes. That's all it felt like. But having the 125 during lockdown, and even before lockdown, so I could get out on the road and keep myself on the road, absolute 100% the best thing I did. If I'd ridden, or if I hadn't ridden, I should say, for those 4 months during lockdown, and then I went into a lesson then for my test, it could have been a completely different outcome. But because I'd been on the road during lockdown, when you're allowed to go out of course, it just felt so much more comfortable. Everything just felt like it fitted into place, and it was a breeze, apart from those 2 silly little minors. But like I said, I don't really give a monkeys about them because we do have a bike licence. And believe it or not, my licence is actually through already, and you have the option to send it away yourself, or the examiner can take it and he'll send it for you. And I was like, yeah, you might as well do it. You know, I've done that with my driving licence as well. And he said it can take up to 3 weeks at the moment. And I was like, okay. And 4 days later. So it's all good, dudes. And it is a major weight off my shoulder. You know, just being in that kind of learning frame of mind. You know, if you don't ride a bike or you've learnt to drive a car, you know what I'm talking about. You know, you're being in that, or even if you are learning to ride a bike, you know what I'm talking about when you're in that learner frame of mind where you've got to make sure that everything is on point the way it should be. You know, your mirrors, your observations, your lifesavers, indicators, all that sort of stuff. You know, road positioning, lane discipline, all that stuff has to be on point, you know. And it can get a wee bit exhausting, you know, when you're maybe out for a couple of hours just on your 125 practicing this stuff, and it's a bit, oh man, I've got to take a break. You know, we still need to keep up with your observations, your lifesavers, all that stuff, but you can relax a bit more. You can relax a bit more. It doesn't mean that I'm, you know, good enough to jump on a Hayabusa and go nuts, because that is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. I just like being on a bike. You know, you don't have to be doing lose your license sort of speeds, you know. Well, that was silly. So I don't know when this video is going up. I might already have my SV by the time the video's up. I'm not too sure yet. But at the time of recording this video, I'll have the SV in a couple of days. So I'm going over to my brother's place just so I can learn a wee bit more about bikes and, you know, what to look out for, what to do when you're, you know, doing a bit of maintenance and whatever on it. And he stays a good maybe hour's drive from where I stay. So I'm just going to go over and then I'll ride it back. Just take my time, come back and just get used to the bike. But it should be good, dudes. It should be good. I'm really looking forward to my first ride on it. I don't think I'll record the ride back though. You know, I kind of wanted to do like a first ride video sort of thing, but at the same time, because I'm riding it back, you know, it's an hour's ride away, I kind of want all my concentration to be on the riding. You know, I don't want to be distracted by, you know, talking into the camera and stuff. But anyway, dudes, I just thought I'd let you guys know that we've passed our Mod 2. It was nerve-wracking but exciting, and I'm glad it's over. I am really, really glad it's over and we've passed. But yeah, honestly, dudes, if you're ever thinking about learning to ride a bike, oh mate, do your CBT first. Obviously you have to do that first anyway. Do your CBT first and then just see how you get on, see how you feel, whenever you feel like, you know, learning to get your bike license. It's one of the best things I've done, dude. It is so much fun. So this probably will be my last ride on the 125, I think. We've done so far 817.8 miles on it. It's been a good wee bike, but I think this will be my last outing on it. Well, I'm definitely feeling a lot more relaxed on the road now. You know, now that that Mod 2 test is done, you know, I know that that kind of anxiety of taking the test that everybody gets, you know, that horrible butterfly feeling, that is no more. So I'm definitely feeling a bit more relaxed on the bike. Obviously we're going to have to get used to riding the SV. I didn't really want to post anything on social media and stuff, just in case. You know, you never know, you could accidentally make that monumental up, you know, nerves can do that to you. You know, so I thought I'd just keep it to myself. I did not even tell the missus that I was going for my test. I just told her I had a lesson. It's like, yeah, I got a lesson. So alright, 3 hours later she's like, where you been? I was like, yeah, I've got my bike license. It's like, what? Yeah, so I didn't tell anybody. Super happy. Hopefully if you guys ever think about sitting your test, please do, please go for it. Honestly, it is such a amazing feeling to be out on a bike. Obviously I don't have the most experience yet, which is, you know, understandable. I've just passed my test. I've been on the 125 quite a lot. I don't know how many hours on the Bandit, not too many. But yeah, I'm loving it, dudes. It's such a freeing feeling, and on days like this, oh my god, boys, it is just such a fun thing to do. Jump on the bike, even if it is just a little 125, there's lots of fun. But anyway, dudes, I thought I'd just let you know that we now have our license.